I think we had a moment of darkness there, and then we showed up.
Okay.
I think it's working.
Do you mean the moment of darkness is your mood while you're trying to set all this up?
We need like a person to run the iPad.
Like a producer.
And then it defeats the purpose of us making this easy to set up in our garage and just do things.
Uh-huh.
I didn't get a thing right behind you, but who cares?
Yeah.
It's fine.
People that know us know we're not perfect.
It's our garage. We put up these curtains over there so that you can't really see that there's a mess over there. Long story short.
Right. And I'm a mess. I'm in my jammies with my blanket and my glasses and a beer.
And there's some snacks over
I'm going to
there.
resist the urge. Resist the urge.
I bet you won't be able to.
No, I will. I'm full of dinner.
So, good news.
Well, wait. I'm not sure how I feel about this whole video thing still.
Why?
I feel like the allure of audio was better rather than...
Well, so...
Because people make fun of me because I talk with my hands.
That's fine. So,
and I'm not photogenic. I'm not in love with the video situation, but...
You're going to have to start getting... So we need a producer, and then we need like a hair and makeup person, and a wardrobe person.
I need... No, because I'm still going to wear my jammies. Like...
Okay.
Just saying.
So we just need a hair and makeup.
I don't need a bra for this, do I? Because...
It looks...
I don't need a bra in life, but
So this is going to turn into like we need a whole staff to make this happen. I should have moved the camera over behind you instead of over there.
Yeah.
Because it looks like I'm just, like
looking
my eyes
away.
are closed all the time. Like you're looking at me and yours is the right level, but mine's higher over there. And it looks like it's weird. But
do you want me to move it?
No, it's fine.
That'd be fun to like, for me to move it right now while we're doing it.
Okay, go ahead.
So that everyone can see how upset you get.
No,
yes!
let's not even screw it. Let's not
all
screw
right.
it.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Because that'd be the fun part. People be like, oh my God, he just lost his shit. I'd be like, this is what I live with.
So what I'm finding very frustrating
Everything.
is I'm not used to Apple things.
I know.
I mean, so this whole video thing and the interface, it eventually will make my life a lot easier. As far as like it's recording. Well, we're recording it in two places now, but it's recording on the iPad, the video and the audio, and it smooths all the audio out. So when it's all done, it's done. Like I just upload this. But I had almost a minor meltdown the other night trying to get the video and stuff off of the iPad and uploaded onto the regular website. But then I figured out we're going to have to... So our regular podcast, like it always was, will get uploaded to that site and Spotify and iTunes and everywhere.
Just audio.
Yeah, there's no way to upload it right.
Yes.
So the Facebook and the YouTube, I just have to grab this video.
The Facebook
and the YouTube. I have to then upload them by themselves just onto the... Because it was kind of weird on the YouTube that it's just...
YouTube.
Well, it was the YouTube. The YouTube feed.
Right.
It was just a logo for an hour, which I kind of thought was shitty.
Oh, well.
So, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Who knows?
So you also, wanted input on how the cameras are cycling?
Yeah, I don't know if we should do that because otherwise I'd have to sit here and swap. Like, I wish there was some way
if you had a producer.
Yeah, if somebody would just be sitting there constantly going.
Switching. Because when I speak, everyone wants to see my face.
I mean, we could hire Piper to do that. Just bounce between the things. But then
she doesn't need to hear half the shit that we say. No
Yes.
thanks. It's bad enough that she's here for enough of them that...
True.
Yeah.
But I like it.
Been a long week.
I think it looks good.
Yeah.
And then that little intro thing, as simple as that was, it took me like... Again, I pulled it up on my laptop in Adobe, which Adobe's kind of cool because you can export things into Apple settings, but I'm completely foreign to the Apple way of life and what file names and
Yeah.
types are. So it
Well-
took me downloading it like 10 times, and then I have to upload it to my cloud and then download it back into the Apple side. It's kind of a pain in the
It's
ass.
going to be one of those things, because I know you, because we've been together for a minute, that in 3 weeks you're going to be like, oh my God, this was so easy. Why was I being so dumb about it? How did I not know what I was supposed to do? How would you know?
What's weird is the amount of this stuff that there's like no instructions to. Mm-hmm. Like none. Like this, it's called Switcher Studios, the
Yeah.
software thing we're using. They basically have some YouTube videos, and when I was trying to set it all up, they're worthless. Like it's almost like it would be very similar to you going and buying a car at a car dealership, and the dealership salesman's just going through all the features. Like it has really good headlights, the radio, blah blah blah.
But doesn't show you how to drive
Doesn't
one.
teach you how to drive it at all. So now you have this car, and you're just like, I have no idea. And then they use this software a lot in churches. So they set up iPhones and iPads all over the place.
To cut out all the swearing.
No,
Oh.
to record like they have one on their choir, they have one on whoever's speaking, they have one on whoever. And then they
Do
broadcast.
they have one under the priest's robe?
I hope not.
They should.
I didn't see any like that. But you can actually go live with this. So you could go live onto Facebook or YouTube, which we are not, because if we have to stop it or whatever. But I watched 12 million videos on YouTube of these church guys. And it's always kind of a super nice but a little dorky guy who's like super proud of his title at the church. He's like, hi, I'm at the First Presbyterian blah, blah, blah church. I'm the multimedia manager. You're like, are you? Okay, awesome. But then I
Hey,
watched,
if you learned something from him.
well, I watched their videos, and the one was the most helpful. The guy's like, okay, so let me show you all the things I did wrong first in trying to get this to work.
I love those kind of videos.
And he's
Because
like,
I always do all the wrong shit first.
well, and it's also good because it was a lot of the stuff that I thought would just work. And he's like, you think this works because of this, but it won't work when you plug it in here because of this. And you're like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And finally, it's so much better than just saying plug into here and plug in over there. And you know what I mean? So I watched that one and I was like, oh. And then I plugged it in and I got it working that one day. So, and what was great was I ordered a whole bunch of stupid, like these dumb Apple connector things. And I waited for him to come, try one, didn't work, ordered a different one, didn't work. And turns out I had the cable that came with this board the whole time to hook it up.
In unrelated news, we're having a yard sale next week. Just kidding.
Yeah, a bunch of $9.99.
Yeah.
All these little connectors. that you
25
need.
cents, they're yours.
Right. But finally we got it going. It worked. We're good.
Do you suppose this is riveting conversation for everyone listening?
Is it?
Is any of our conversations riveting?
I think so. I get people that say stuff to us all the time. Or to me, rather. Not to us. You would know because you'd be with. But I don't know. People seem to like it for some reason.
Yeah.
I had a fella stop by today and was like, hey, I like the podcast. I listened to it. It's good. And he goes, I don't understand what's wrong with me that I just want to listen to people just sit and have a conversation.
Well, that's
but I like it.
a majority of the world right now,
All right. Speaking
podcast-wise and all that kind of stuff.
Speaking
I
of
mean,
great conversations, you have to listen to the Joe Rogan and Jewel podcast. I was blown away. I had no idea. Like, I like Jewel, but I'm not like a huge Jewel fan. But she's about our same age. But I remember her sort of being around when we were in teenage, college-esque age. And
Give me the thrust of what they talked about, or was it
So,
just ran the whole
basically-
gamut?
yeah, basically it was her whole life and how she got into music and made
Did
it.
she overcome adversity?
Oh my God.
Okay,
Like,
so it was something like that.
yes, but way beyond like I just had a bad childhood. Like she lived in Alaska, and like they had no running water type situation, and then they would go into Anchorage, and her dad would play in bars from the time she was like 6, 7, 8. Her mom ends up leaving him. She tells a story how they went to the bar and they always performed as a family. They were Mormons. They didn't drink or anything at the time. And that's how they made money. They would go and they had this little like folk band, and her brother and her were like backup singers, and she said she yodeled at one point. Which when you listen to her sing,
I wish I could yodel. Yeah.
When you listen to her
can
sing,
hear
you're
the
like,
roots
yep.
of that. Yeah.
So then she said, like one time they played a show. They're getting in the car to leave, and her mom just didn't come home with them.
Cool.
And they're getting in the car, and
Bye, Mom.
it's like,
Wow.
well, then her dad started drinking, and he started abusing her. So she ends up moving out when she's 16.
All right, let's not ruin it for everybody.
But wait, not sexual abuse. Just he would get mean and hit her and stuff. So long story short, she moves out when she's 16. She's homeless. This great big long story about she wanted to kill herself, but she didn't. She moves to California. This great big long thing gets discovered, becomes famous, and her mom steals $100 million from her.
How?
Because once she was famous, her mom's like, "Oh,
That's my
honey,
kid."
yeah." And then she came back into her life, and over the course of 10 years, fleeced her for well over $100 million. She was going...
Wait. Okay. Can we just revisit the fact that Jewel made $100 million?
Dude, you have to listen to the podcast. She's so smart. The way she set up her deals and everything.
Huh.
Like, it's a fascinating podcast.
Do you know how to sing yet?
No.
Fuck.
I barely can
Right.
talk. Barely can talk. But anyways, it ended up being almost 4 hours long. That's what I was watching last night. That's why I was late coming in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, a couple times, got a little weepy.
Oh.
It's a good one. But anyways, I highly recommend anybody pull that up and watch it. It's basically only on Spotify, so. But it's good.
Cool.
So
I'll have to listen for not 4 hours probably, but maybe broken up in chunks.
I bet you once you start listening, you won't stop.
Yeah, probably.
It's pretty good. I didn't know she was that interesting.
So I noticed Piper's new shirt is sitting there.
Well, actually mine, I was going to put it on before the podcast.
It's yours. Oh, okay.
And I think the camera's going to cycle off right before... Nope. Let's go, Brandon. And I was going to put it on, but it's a white shirt, and it's a little cool.
It's a little what?
Cool out, so I really
yeah.
didn't want to take off my sweatshirt.
Yeah. Back to I have my blankie. Mm-hmm. And my
I turned the heater up in
Did
here.
you
It's
see
not
that
bad.
fly almost landed right in the candle?
Really? I did not.
We could have sacrificed a fly while we're sitting here.
Wouldn't the fly have sacrificed itself?
Yeah, maybe. So the Let's Go Brandon shirt, did I tell you well, you know, I took our kid to the dentist on Friday in Buffalo, and I had to actually fight with her to not wear the Let's Go Brandon shirt to the dentist. But in my defense, it's not for the reason you're thinking. Because I didn't want shit to go sideways at the dentist because it's bad enough to begin with. But it's because hers is a little bit too big and she was wearing shorts. So when she stood up and was walking, it looked like she had no pants on at all. That all she had on was a giant Let's Go Brandon shirt and no pants.
The kids
So I made her change, and she was mad.
The kids love the Let's Go Brandon.
I know, because it's a way for them to say fuck anything without saying it. Yes.
The one day, her and her little buddy, they were, "You all right? You need a drink?
Well,
You
no,
want some snacks?"
she and I both
You got the
actually
vid?
took a Claritin tonight. The whole thing.
The funny thing was a few weeks
it's not
ago.
COVID.
A few weeks ago, before the Let's Go Brandon started, her and her buddy, they saw something on YouTube or it was on the news or wherever it was, the Let's Go Brandon or Fuck Joe Biden chant. And they're going around going, "Heck Joe Biden."
Yeah.
Just like, heck.
Or freak Joe Biden.
Yeah. And now they have something they can say and they don't have to worry about getting in trouble. It's hilarious that that's caught on
times.
like it has.
Oh, there's songs.
Did you see the dude in the, I don't know if it was the Senate or the Congress or whatever today, that video I shared?
So I watched it for, I'm going to say it felt like 10 freaking minutes and the guy
Yeah.
still never said it.
It's right
I
at
don't
the
know
very
what-
end.
Oh, well, what?
I didn't make the video, but he was making some good points. And
Yeah,
then
but-
he gets to the end, but he didn't really commit to it. Like, he should have been like,
What'd he
let's
say?
go, Brandon. Instead, he was like, let's go, Brandon.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah.
That's all he said at the very end?
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
And he's like, and one more
So it's
thing.
kind of ballless, but...
Let's go, Brandon. And then he
Oh,
walks away,
jeez.
which is kind of funny.
Well, I mean, at least it got out there.
It definitely got
But
out
I'm
there.
sure they were like, what's he talking about? Because I heard today that the White House staff is like, we
Oh, stop it.
don't know what this is. We haven't heard anything. We don't know what this is.
Right.
Let's go.
So how
Brandon. What does that mean? Oh, they're just fucking oblivious, just like the president.
It's like, I'm so tired of everybody playing pretend when they talk. It's so exhausting to watch anything anymore. Just crazy.
You can hear the rain.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear it through the microphones. I think we have things set up a little better now, that it's only because I was listening.
Maybe you can hear the dogs barking.
Maybe. But what I was listening to was the other night when we did one. I was listening to the audio when you were letting the dogs out, and you were yelling for the dogs, and they were barking and stuff going on outside. And you coming in, I couldn't even hear you come in.
Oh,
And when you closed the door or anything. So I think we're set up a little better, so it's
Okay.
recording good. So, but
there's
maybe you
no
can hear it.
clicking dog nails on the kitchen floor or anything.
Ah, thank God. It's so loud in the headphones, though. It just takes you out of it when.
It doesn't take me out of it.
Yeah.
I'm a
You're
mother.
you're
I'm a
always-
mother, John. I'm used to audio
What?
distractions.
What's that weird name for that random noise thing? You and Piper were.
ASMR?
Yeah. Is it like that? Is
Uh,
ASMR like that?
Life as a mom is not ASMR.
So what is?
the
I'm gonna
exact
get a beer. Do
opposite.
you need one?
Yeah. ASMR is like soothing sounds, supposedly. But some people, it turns out, like chewing noises, which I would punch somebody in their fucking face if I had to sit and listen to them chew. I mean, it doesn't gross me out, but I don't want to sit there and listen to it. Or like people, like, especially those weird chicks with the giant nails, they'll like click them against their teeth or click them together and stuff. And supposedly that's like a soothing thing.
People just want to listen to that.
Yeah.
Like you would just listen to it on like a.
People want to listen to people like eating. Like, who wants to hear that?
Why?
I don't know.
Like I sort of get those ocean noise things,
Yeah, that's white noise.
like a
that's
soothing sort of deal, but that other stuff is just too weird.
When I get like some of the soothing like videos of like watching people do certain things, like mechanical things that, you know,
Like some of those weird assembly line things you watch, and it's like cutting
Yeah.
off things or whatever.
or like watching people like, have you seen any of the ones where they have giant like say decorative rugs and they're really dirty and they like
Oh, yeah,
clean
yeah.
them, you know, and or like a stamped concrete pad
Mm-hmm.
that's all covered in moss. Somebody's pressure washing it, and you're watching it get all like clean.
Right.
You know, that kind of stuff. Okay, I get it.
I like to watch the like tractors mowing big fields. I don't know why. I
Yeah.
get a kick out of that.
Yeah, something,
kinda cool.
anything like, but like to hear somebody chomping on something, like some, I don't know.
Yeah, it seems weird.
Or like they'll get that, Piper will watch stuff like they get slime and like it in their hands, and I'm just like, eh. But like people pay for it and stuff. It's weird.
It's like the weird TikTok videos sometimes that you can't even begin to understand why anybody thought they should record them. Mm-hmm. It's just random things. Like every once in a while.
But then you're watching it, or our kids watching
I'm
it.
watching it because I'm thinking there's going to be like something that happens. Like I was watching one today that was just a video of people. I think they were just launching a boat, but I'm waiting for like the payoff on the video, and turns out.
Hate it when I wait for the payoff and nothing happens.
And it turns out that little fruit fly.
I
wish he'd kamikaze right into that
know.
candle. But that the little. But anyways, the video.
Shit show candle.
I'm watching it, and then it starts over again. And I'm like, wait, why did I watch it? And then also, why am I watching stupid TikTok videos like
I
that?
know.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I was bored. What you got on your list? Wait, I think we should start these segments off from now on. I was thinking,
great segue.
I was thinking about something this week. Start it like
So I
that.
wanted to ask you.
What's got up in your craw, Pam? Oh, did you just fart?
No.
Sounds like a fart.
Oh, I can't do it. Oh, there we go.
Don't do that.
Okay. Sorry. Hey,
I'm gonna have
this
to-
is real life. Listen, if people want to listen to you having a podcast with me, and now people know how much I talk with my hands because you couldn't see it before.
I pointed it out the other
And
night.
people say it to me all the time, and I'm like, no, I don't. And then I watch myself, and I'm like, oh shit, I do.
You're like my
And I'm
Italian,
Irish. I'm not even Italian.
You're like my Italian grandmother. Her just hands were just going all the time.
Where was I going with that?
You were gonna say, our segue
I
will
said
always
nice
be,
segue.
but our segue should always be. So I was thinking about this today.
Oh, so I was thinking about this today. What? How'd I do?
Perfect.
What industry or what line of work would you say draws the most asshole type people?
So like you were already an asshole.
Yes.
Or you.
So you're like, this is what I want to do.
This is my job.
So, but I feel like, okay, so when you think about that question, everybody on earth is going to be like, my industry has the most assholes. But if you like can try to like take yourself out, what do you feel if you sat down and had a consensus among your friends or your neighborhood or your peers or whatever, what?
So are we talking about you're like a rude person or you're like an asshole? Like some people can just be assholes.
I feel like that could be one of the
But you just
same.
see them like, all right, there's a particular person that I know that we've talked about before. I saw him unload baseball equipment out of his truck once. And now that we have video, I can't tell you exactly who it is. But I know you remember. He dated somebody that we knew.
Damn, we can't write notes to each other anymore.
Well, I don't
without-
have a note, or I would, because they probably couldn't see the note. But I was picking Piper up somewhere, and he was unloading his baseball equipment for a baseball game. Okay. And the way he took his bags, the way he took his bags out of his truck, I'm like, this guy's a fucking asshole. I already knew he was an asshole, but just watching him take his bag of balls and bats and his glove and whatever, he gets out of his truck, and I'll wait for the camera to come back around on me. He gets out of his truck, he flops the tailgate down, then he throws his bag on the ground, and then he's just stomping around like, that guy's a fucking douchebag. Huh. So, do you mean an asshole like that where you look at him and you're like, that guy's a fucking asshole? Or do you mean treats people like shit?
Treats people like shit is what. Well, yeah. And or just, okay, so in your story in particular, so I told myself I was not going to smoke on camera, but here I go. When you say you saw this person doing this, in your opinion, is that person an asshole? Or did they
100%.
just have
100%.
Or did they just have an asshole moment?
I'm just saying, I already knew this guy was an asshole.
Oh.
But if I didn't know him and I watched him just unload his baseball stuff, I'd be like, fuck that guy. He's a douchebag. So that's not like
Now
some
I
people.
want to know who that is.
Well,
You're
I'll tell
kind
you
of
after.
narrowing
I'll tell
shit
you-
down by saying baseball.
But lots of people play baseball, and this was many years ago. So,
Oh.
well, I'll tell you afterwards. But it doesn't matter. So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, you just look at somebody doing their job, and you're like, that person's a fucking asshole, or they treat people like shit.
Both. I'm feeling both along that line.
All right. So obviously, because this has been up in your craw, you have an answer?
Well, I have a couple.
Okay. What's your first one?
All right. The first one is pretty obvious.
If you
Politicians.
I was going to say, if you say me,
Oh. Don't even get me started on
what
that.
kind of politicians?
Okay.
Explain.
Like the Nancy Pelosi type folks. Okay.
Just-
So in a way, kind of then what leans towards lawyer-ish type people? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So,
Or just like all these douchebag mayors and stuff.
not all mayors are douchebags, though.
Oh, okay.
So
Probably.
here's the problem with political office. You never want somebody who like is going out of their way to do it, to do the job. So I'm gonna throw a little shade at our one of our local races, and
no.
I just want to go, like,
Oh.
you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I'm like, what are you guys
doing?
doing? I mean, you're spending money to get a job that pays basically nothing. For what reason? And
Because they want to make a difference, man.
and the thing that drives me nuts about local races, now I get some of them maybe when you're running for bigger like county-wide races, or even like regional state races, different things like a senator or congressman or something. You really need to get out there and probably campaign. But if I was running for something in my township or in my school district, pretty much everybody should know me if I'm going to do that job. You follow what I'm saying? Like, I shouldn't need to plaster every corner with a sign that says vote for John Anderson.
Well,
and I
but
never would.
What do you mean everybody should know you? Like it's our job to know you.
No, I'm just saying, like, if you're going to vote, it's not like you're voting for governor, somebody you've never met. I'm somebody from the community that's always been in the community. I feel like people just know me from being in the community. Whereas if you were running for like congressman and you were from here, but you know, somebody over in like Erie or something is in your district, or I don't know how it works. They don't know who you are at all.
Yeah.
So you need to get your name out there. So hopefully they vote for you. But around here, it doesn't seem like you should have to campaign that hard to get some of these smaller jobs
Some
that
of the shit
at
gets
the,
pretty.
at the end of the day, nobody
serious.
really wants to do anyways. It's the other
Yeah.
funny part.
Yeah.
But so I guess what I was saying is I think you're right that people who tend to gravitate towards those jobs are not doing it for the most wholesome of reasons.
Okay, and then I have one more.
Okay.
Because I really kind of thought long and hard about it.
Okay.
And I hope I don't hurt feelings. I don't think I know anybody. Maybe. Security guards. Like
So you're talking like your
like mall cops,
like your
rent-a-cops,
rent-a-cop, like your event cop people.
like you know, if you go to something and it's like
Right. So okay. So there's another one. So I'll give you one. So there is an IRS cop that if you have tax problems or issues, the IRS cop shows up.
but that's not technically
Ask me
a
how I know.
security
Just
guard.
hang on.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
So
but
anyways-
that's not like a security guard kind of guy who signs up to be like,
But hang on.
I'm gonna-
They have a
okay.
badge. They're a police officer.
well,
They're-
all right.
they're a law
Okay,
officer.
Maybe.
But here's-
they also have the backing of the IRS, the
So-
federal.
But what I was
end
going
of
to say
things.
was, when you meet those people, instantly like, that guy's a fucking asshole. He's a fucking just straight dick. But is he a dick because everybody gives him bullshit because they don't respect him as an authority?
I feel like I'm talking more about okay, and this is
Because I'm talking like you're like a fair cop sort of person,
yes,
or a festival cop or something like of those natures, or a high school football game
a mall cop.
Yeah, mall
or
cop. So
and I'm talking pre rioting last year and all that, I'm talking like in just normal life.
Yeah.
Somebody that
So
wants
you're
to be
saying
like,
defund the police?
no, no.
I get what you're saying, Pam.
No, yeah.
I mean, I understand.
So those were the
But
only
do you
ones
think,
I could come up
Do you
with.
think they're assholes? They started out as assholes? Like they're so.
I
There's,
feel
God,
like
I wish we could still write things.
I know.
We're gonna have to pass notes under the table.
Yeah. No, because then when you
so
look at it, it'll show up.
I'm thinking of I don't even want to say anymore. I'm thinking of a very specific person who got into a position like that, and you're like, okay, you're just doing this for the ego stroke.
Yes.
And then you have and it's almost sad. It's like those people, and not all of them, but most. They
see, that's what I'm saying. That's
say,
where I came to. I'm like, I feel like they just really want more authority in their life.
Well, their self-worth comes from whatever that is.
Being in a position above others.
Right. Which is weird.
But I wouldn't say the same for cops.
No, it's different.
Yeah.
Well,
it's different.
It does seem... Well, cops, you can kind of put it in the... Like, you just get assholes in every profession. So here's the one I'm going to...
Now you're coming down to my... After I thought about this, I'm like, you have assholes in every single line of work.
But I'm going to give you 2 professions that you think they're assholes. And most of the time, they act like assholes. But if you knew them personally or through a family or you're their friend, they're the nicest people in the world.
Let me guess, you're going to say business owners?
Nope.
Oh.
Farmers
Painters.
and loggers.
I wouldn't think of them as assholes. Farmers are the hardest working motherfuckers
Right,
I've ever
but
met in my life.
so are loggers.
Well, yeah.
But they spend an unusual amount of time all by themselves just working very, very hard.
Yeah.
And then they don't have like the social interaction skills every day. They're like rough, gruff motherfuckers. They're like, fuck you, get out of my way sort of people. I've met lots of asshole loggers.
Okay.
And then once you get to know them, they're super nice people. But they come off
I guess
as
I
the
wouldn't have
biggest
pegged them as
assholes in the whole...
all right.
They don't give a fuck. They're like...
Maybe there is a general
Like, every logger is
that-
like, I get up really early, I work super fucking hard, fuck you. Like, my existence is hard, and yours is not, fuck you.
Yeah.
You're inconvenience to me, everything you do. And I feel like farmers are the same way. But once you, like, if you know them, they're nice people.
What
but,
would we do without either of them?
well, we wouldn't have this table.
It's true.
And we wouldn't have...
We also wouldn't have this table without painting contractors.
True.
Who are
And
also assholes.
the farmer that raised the Keystone Light trees, or are they vegetables? Do they get planted? I'm not sure how that works.
I don't know.
But business owners, I think, come across as assholes quite a bit.
Only to customers.
To everybody, really. I've seen some people be some real fucking jerks to a lot of people. Because, like, I get it on some level, because especially to salesmen and things of that nature, like, you are just so fucking busy and stressed out, and then you have some dickhead that wants to come and take your money. And you just know you've been burnt like 22 times. And so I think a lot of business owners come across as assholes just because they're busy. I know I've been an asshole before. It's hard to believe, but
Very.
very hard.
So I think probably anyone
about-
in any industry can come up with, oh yeah,
What about-
everyone in the accounting world is assholes. Or,
What about doctors?
well,
Do you think they're kind of lumped in with the cop situation where
no.
you got some good ones, you got some bad ones?
No, I feel like at some point in every doctor and nurse's life, they went into it to help people. And then somewhere along the line, you get fucking jaded, and
I can't imagine.
some
dealing-
people get bought. Some people. What I think it always starts with a good intention.
Everything does, Pam.
I don't know about that.
What else you got on your list? What's got in your craw?
So I was thinking. It's okay. Okay. Well, actually, all right. I'm gonna skip.
Wait.
Huh?
Go ahead.
All right. Do we want to go controversial or no?
Whatever. Go ahead.
Okay.
Are we
So
going to get Chappelled? Did you see Chappelle's response?
maybe no,
Yes. It's so good.
no, yes.
Chappelle must be at one of his shows basically just fucking lets loose. And he says,
Well-
you guys are claiming discrimination and how people are keeping you down. He says, but guess who the only motherfucker that can't come to the office is? This guy. And then he says, I'm willing to talk to you guys if you would send me an invitation. He says, I'm more than happy to sit down with your community and have a discussion about this. He says, but a couple things. It's going to be at a time and place of my choosing. Everybody that comes has to absolutely 100% sat down and watched my whole special.
That's what I was just going to say.
And third, you will not fucking summon me. We will meet. And then basically he's like, fuck you.
So my whole thing about the Chappelle thing is anybody who is up in arms and irate about his special
Didn't watch it.
did not watch the whole thing.
Right.
Did not watch the whole thing. Because he, especially at the end, has a very endearing story
Yes.
about a very, very close to him trans friend
Right.
that passed away and the whole thing. Like it was almost like a little bit of a tearjerker
Yeah.
in a comedy special.
Yes. It was brilliant. That special was brilliant.
So anybody that's pissed off about it heard a couple of his smartass one-offs about whatever and decided, oh, he's transphobe and all this other shit, which is not the case.
No.
And that pisses me off. So I was thinking, okay, and
Is this I was thinking about this week, or are you thinking about something else?
no, I've been thinking about this since I watched the special.
Oh.
Because you and I watched it, like, what, the
The
day
night-
after it came out?
Yeah. It
Or
was
the
right-
night it came
I
out?
think it was the night.
Has it been taken off yet, or are they just still
No,
saying they're
the-
going to keep it?
No, the president of Netflix came out and he was like, look,
Because
We-
watch the whole thing.
well, and also so Netflix didn't take off, this is basically the argument. They didn't take off that goofy ass pedophile dance movie thing.
Oh,
Do you remember that weirdness?
Yeah.
They're like, look, we stand behind our, whatever you want to say, creators, artistic.
speech, whatever?
Yes. To create,
kudos to them then.
so we're not taking it down. You can simply not watch it if you don't want to watch it. Period.
Don't watch it to give fuel to your irritated fire of, oh, never.
Yeah.
But so my thing is, and listen, I love everybody. Just saying. But how many letters would the alphabet mafia like for us to recognize now? Because I feel like I'm sorely behind. Right now, what I have is LGBTQ. So lesbian, gay, trans, bisexual, queer, which I'm still
Confused about.
confused on the queer because I thought queer was a slur. But I heard somebody say the other day LGBTQPIAN2+.
So
Now, what the fuck is all of that? Don't you think at this point it would be way easier to refer as non-hetero?
how about we just are all people again?
Well,
And
yeah.
you're into what you're into. Who gives a
Well,
fuck?
but if they want recognition, whatever, sure. But
why do
can
you
we
need-
just do...
This is what's nuts. Why do you need recognition for any of that?
I don't know. I don't...
So, like, this is what drives me nuts.
but I don't...
And I'll
I know. It's so
let's
hard.
just say locally, there was a person from the alphabet community
Mafia.
If they would have
Alphabet Mafia. Let's call them what they are because they're fucking coming after everybody
right.
left and right because we don't know what the fuck we're supposed to be saying.
But that isn't even it. So, like, if they would have just switched over from basically this person went from being a man to a woman, like, at the end of one session, they're like, see ya, folks, I'm Mr. So-and-so. And then the beginning of the next section, it's, hi, I'm Mrs. So-and-so. And everybody's like, okay. If they would have just done that. Now, obviously, people are going to be like, what the fuck? That's odd. But if that person...
You mean just put it out there as this...
If you would have it's kind of like on South Park when Mr. Garrison came back as Mrs. Garrison.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, you're a chick now? Okay.
Yeah.
If you would have just taught your South Park class and not made a giant deal about it, everybody had just been like, all right, I guess this is how we learn math or science or whatever. Like, who cares who's...
Yeah.
As long as you're teaching me, I don't give a shit. But they can't just do that. They have to make it all about their identity.
About whether we recognized it or not. And that's what, like, I'm having a hard time with. Like, I just want to deal with people as people. I don't care who or what you're attracted to.
Right. It's like we make fun of the CrossFit people for talking about CrossFit, or the keto people about talking about keto all the time.
Everybody makes fun of everybody for everything.
But you just go like, we get it, you're keto, you're doing the keto diet. Shut the fuck up. I don't care. It's the same with that other stuff too. It's like, okay.
Who cares?
Great, shut the fuck up.
As long as you're a cool person, I don't give a shit.
Right. And instead of the people going, oh, maybe I should shut the fuck up about my keto change, my diet change, they go, oh, how dare you?
Well,
how dare you offend the community?
That was just something I wanted to, like, how would you Google it? Like, what is the most updated list of letters I need to include in a pronoun? You know, and then so everything is like, we're getting emails now from so-and-so pronouns of blah, blah, blah. Who gives a... You're emailing me about something. If I don't even know you, I don't give a flying fuck who you're in bed with or who you're attracted to. Or just give me your name. I don't care what your name is.
I got a work email a few weeks ago, and in the signature, the chick's name was something like Brittany.
Chick. See, you just fucked up.
You can't. Well, no, hey,
hang on. The person's name.
It said, like, obviously a girl's name, Brittany something, or she, her. In parentheses at the end. I'm like, okay. And for the purpose of this email, who gives a fuck?
Right.
I was asking you a question about something that had nothing to do with your sexuality.
Because do I want people to know I'm attracted to you, like to men? Like,
wait,
who?
You don't let that get out?
Like, when I go to look at a painting job, I'm not like, hi, my name is Pam. I identify as a woman. My pronoun is she. That has nothing in the fucking whole wide world to do with what I'm doing in their house. And I'm in, like, some pretty intimate situations with people at times. Like, they're home, they're doing their 2020 work from home. I'm in their bathroom or in their bedroom where they have their little situation set up. And, like, I've never felt like I need to make it clear.
What your pronoun was?
Yeah.
Well, you're normal. You would just go and be like, I'm a painter. I'm here to paint.
Right. Isn't that all that should matter? Your qualifications.
Right.
Not your attractions.
Right. Doesn't make any sense. It's just bananas. So what was your next thing? Before we get canceled. We don't have Chappelle money.
I feel like I just upset people with that. But I hate wearing headphones.
You need those. Okay. You need those glasses that don't have like ear things. You just put them on your nose.
No, I'd look even dumber. I'd actually be cool if I could just take these off.
Take them off.
So my last thing, what?
I was gonna say the only thing I notice when you take your headphones off, you end up doing this. You start leaning way back.
Well, that's all right.
And then I have to be like.
Hear me.
And then you're like, "Fuck you, I'll be."
Me.
Go ahead.
So the last thing was totally unrelated to anything we've talked about, is things that our generation, because even though you're a year younger than me, we're the same generation,
Generation X.
are the only ones or last ones that we'll ever do. For instance, I want to pick the best one because my first one was
start over again. What was the premise here?
things that our generation will have been the last ones to do, have, see,
Okay.
whatever. So like something like when we were kids, you would be allowed to go out till. Oh, geez.
See, that's why.
Our generation could go ride their bikes, be home at dark. Like sometimes, kind of, that happens now, but most people are scared to death to do it. You broke it. And my side. That's all right. Whatever. Nobody wants to see me anyway. Just turn that one off.
Nobody wants to see you.
Turn that one off.
Fine. Just keep talking.
That kind of stuff. Like everybody's afraid to let their kids just go do whatever until dark. Because like when we were kids, our parents were just like, bye, see you at dark. Now it's like everything needs supervised and we're nervous, and because if something happens to our kid, it's our fault. You know what I mean? Or the other one I could think of was everywhere you went, everybody was smoking. Go in a hospital, the doctor's smoking.
Yes, that was
Go on
gonna
a
be one.
plane, everybody's smoking. Go anywhere, every public, like everywhere, all smoking. Like you know what I mean? What?
That was weird. You just got really blurry in the video for some reason. I don't know why.
Are you sure it's not just you?
Nope, I'm not blurry at all.
Things like that no other generation is going to see. Like the ones here, our generation and younger or older had, but will never
So the
happen
smoking
again.
one.
Or along the smoking line, weed is scary and illegal. Now it's like, oh, not so much. Like moving
Right.
on.
Weed when we were kids was like, oh my God.
Well,
Like,
reefer madness.
Yeah, you're
I
gonna
mean,
put the
yeah.
baby in the microwave.
Yeah.
Sort of craziness.
Like all that kind of
But
stuff. Or women used to drink when they were pregnant.
And smoke
like,
and everything else,
yeah, all that kind of, like,
So you're
and we're not that old. I'm 46, you're 45.
so you're waxing philosophical about women not being able to drink when they're pregnant. Like you're like, those were the good old days.
Oh,
A
dude,
woman get knocked and knock back a sixer.
that is all I wanted when I was pregnant. I'm not going to lie. Like, I was good right up until, like, month 9. Well, you know.
Yeah.
Well, backstory, I got hit by a car in the 7th month of
You
pregnancy.
hit a car.
No, well, yes.
Actually, a truck.
Yes. And had to have,
A
it
whole
was
deal.
ridiculous. But all I wanted was to just
So
relax and have a drink. You know what I mean? But
the smoking
you're
one
scared to death.
is a funny one because people smoked fucking everywhere you went.
yeah.
Like you go to the doctor's office,
Yeah. Hospitals.
the doctor be smoking. If you go
Everywhere.
on an airplane, everybody's fucking smoking in the airplane.
My
like-
dad had pictures from when he would fly in the 70s and 80s to like Japan and Turkey and shit like that. And the
Cigarette
stewardess is walking around with, cigarettes
Right.
to hand. And that's when they used to dress all sexy and stuff. And he'd take pictures. And yeah.
Your dad's generation got that, the sexy waitresses or stewardesses.
Stewardesses, yeah.
We get the gay ones. Like the dudes.
Oh, well.
Like every time you get on an airplane, you're like, where's that
I got a
madman
dude.
shit?
Yeah.
I got some guy named
Mad
Mike.
Men. Yeah, that was totally.
Yeah.
I mean, that was before our generation, but that was
Also,
kind
how about
of
the
same.
generation where you could just punch a chick and it was okay?
Oh, stop
No,
it.
like look at those old movies.
What?
Like the old movies, like the old 50s movies. Like if a chick was just getting crazy, they just backhanded her. Haven't you ever watched any of those old AMC movies? And you're
Well,
like,
good. I'm glad
you're
that
like,
one
yeah,
left.
I know. You're just
Yeah.
like, wait, what? Ah, you dizzy broad, whack. You're like, wait, what are you doing?
Or like no car seats for kids, all that kind of stuff when like we were kids,
I
like
was just gonna
baby
say
kids.
no seatbelts.
Like 70s. Yeah.
Like I remember.
Or did you see there was a picture was circulating not too long ago, like one of the first car seats for a kid. It was this weird metal cage.
Oh, perfect.
That you would like if you hit something like the kid's gonna bust its brain. Like
let's shield the kid from all the soft fabric and upholstery around it
With metal.
and then let's just put some metal bars for it to crash into instead.
But like
Brilliant.
I was trying to think of like more like modern type things that it is being phased out.
So
of a lot of books and stuff that are being banned.
We're
and-
probably the last generation, our specific generation, to not be able to call anybody at any time. Like,
yes,
I remember having
absolute
having to-
internet.
well, before we get to the internet, just trying to find a payphone somewhere. Like,
Yes.
holy shit, I'm having car trouble.
Oh my God!
We got to find a
yes.
payphone.
You
Fuck,
got to
do-
flag
do you
somebody
have a
down
quarter?
to take
Like,
you.
yes.
That's the other thing, like hitchhiking and that kind of
But
thing.
how about
like
how weird it is that how free cell phone stuff is now? Because like, remember when you were in college, we got cell phones, and then
Yeah.
you'd have to call after 7 o'clock because it was
Yes,
free.
'cause it was-
But if you
yes.
called during the day,
Yes.
it was like $1 a
Ridiculous.
minute or
Yeah.
something like that.
or when internet did finally come around and I was in college and you were still at home, you were on the internet, so the phone wouldn't work, so I
Right.
couldn't call you at your mom and dad's house to be like, so what are you doing? I'd be like, oh my God, get off the internet. Come on.
But you had to
With
hit
the
the-
dial-up shit.
I can't remember what
Oh,
you before you did the dial-up. You had to push some numbers, so
Yeah.
the call waiting didn't work because it would
it would
fuck
mess
your
up
thing
your
up.
yes. Oh my God. Kids, can you imagine Piper having to deal with dial-up?
Do you think kids are better off?
Probably not.
Why do you?
I feel like we came up with a whole lot of patience. Do you remember how long it took for things to load?
Oh my
Wow,
God.
we really sound old now. Like
How
this
about-
might not be
I
interesting.
don't know if
to
you ever
our
did this, but did you ever do the
listeners.
computer programs? We used to get the magazines.
Yes, you had
And
to
you-
type it all
and it
in.
would just be a picture.
And if you fuck up one character,
You're going back through. But
Forget
then you
about
get
it.
it all done, and it would just be a picture of something.
yeah.
It didn't even do anything. It's
I
just like-
remember typing in, it took like 2 weeks. There was a whole fat booklet that my dad brought because he was so proud, you know,
Mm-hmm.
computers and all that. Came home and I typed in the whole program to run Chicken Little.
What's Chicken Little?
Chicken Little, the sky's falling. So the chicken would run back and forth and catch the
Okay.
stuff falling
yeah,
from
the
the
games.
sky. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
You could put games in.
Yeah. But if you screw up any character, I'd be like, where's that? Oh, that looks close enough. You know, like it wouldn't work, right?
Like I
So you'd
do
have to go back
think
in.
every once in a while, like we are getting kind of fucked up in the way that
Everything's so user friendly.
well, in the way that like you can't go anywhere without your phone anymore. It seems really, really weird if you leave and go somewhere without your phone.
I know.
Because it's
It's
not.
always like, oh my God, what if something happened?
Well, I'm not even always like anymore worried about if something happens for the most part. But what if I need to know something? Like, what if I need directions or
Yeah.
I need to find out how much money I have in my bank account or something like that? You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing how reliant on that you become. And that's what I was going to say. Like, our kids, I wonder if you can hear the dogs. Our kids, do you think that they're better off? Like, our kid, hopefully, as long as we don't get hit with like some solar spot that wipes out all the electronics or something in their lifetime.
I think
we'll
she'll be all right.
never have to fuck around with a map trying to figure out how to get somewhere.
Yeah, but we were really goddamn good with maps.
Well, you had to be if you wanted to go
Yeah.
anywhere. Like now you're just like, hey phone, I want to go
Oh,
places,
yeah.
and your phone's like, would you like to take the fastest route, or would that, you know?
Yeah.
And then the other thing is
Well-
the amount of things that our kid wants to do, and then just looks it up and is like, oh, okay, cool.
Google
That's-
Earth for one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when we were going to
Can
Myrtle
you
Beach.
imagine if we had that
no,
kind of
like
stuff?
it's crazy. Like when we were going to Myrtle Beach, she's like, give me the address of the house. So she Google
Checked it
Earths
all out.
checks it all out, checks everything that's around,
Totally knew what
local
it looked like
places.
before we even got there.
And she's like 9. Like, I barely knew how to get to, the nearby town
yeah.
when I was 9.
But I mean, if we went to freaking Walking Dead situation like tomorrow, I'm sure they'd figure out how to
I'm sure.
get back to it. Would
I'm not saying they can't. I'm just
be a
like, do you think
painful-
they're better off?
reversion, is that a word?
Like,
It'd be painful for them to revert back to how we had to do things, but I think they would eventually figure it out.
I remember my dad was always a fabricator, welder type fellow. So still is, but he was building things like fuel tanks or things that had to hold a certain capacity. And then whichever one of us kids just happened to be doing geometry at that time would have the shit like right off the bat. There was no looking it up on your phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you didn't know how to figure out the liquid capacity of whatever, you were going to find some encyclopedia or something and flipping around till you found the
Also,
equation.
Dictionaries, encyclopedias, not.
So I don't know how many emails do you write, but
I don't have to do
is your
much
email
for
starting
email.
to do the predictive text? Do you know what I'm talking
Email?
about? Yeah,
No, but text is.
I love it. So I'm typing an email. So if I'm writing you an email, I'm like, Dear Pam Anderson, I regret to and when I type I regret to inform you, it just shows
that
up.
we
and
will be divorcing.
You just hit tab. That's already typed. That the product is
You're
back
so
ordered
lazy.
without tab. It's so much better.
Okay, these kids don't even know how to type yet, and that's all they do is
That is weird to me. I was watching.
online, like on screen. Did
Well-
you see the goofy ass keyboard she has on her
I don't
iPad right
understand
now?
why she does
It's
that.
not QWERTY. It's the
Whatever. I don't.
What the
I asked her the other day. Like, it surprises me that the kids can't type.
I know.
Even older kids can't.
Typing class, home ec, metal, wood, shop, all that. Also gone. Oops. sorry.
Hands-on stuff. Yeah, wood shop.
Also
might be
gone.
The last.
None of that shit.
There's Tulsi Gabbard. Like the Tulsi Gabbard. What was I gonna say? Oh
We
shit!
could go on it. This could be its own whole podcast.
I just thought about something else. Oh, how about never having to get film developed?
Yes.
Like you would go on a whole vacation and not realize you had shit pictures until you got back, or no pictures. Like you would just have. I remember when I went to Italy with my grandmother, and I can't remember what it was. It 110 film.
Our wedding pictures.
Oh yeah, was it?
We put Polaroids on all the tables,
Yes.
and
But you
people
didn't
were
know
supposed
what-
to turn. Yeah. We never.
But was there 110 film? Was that a film?
Yes.
The ones that were like on
Yep.
little reel
The
thing.
little.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I
There were
took.
little disposable cameras.
Yeah.
They came. You'd take the thing out, and we got married in '97.
So this was probably in the 80s somewhere, and I just came home with all this film. And then you had to go pay to get them developed. So it wasn't just you came home, you took the pictures. Now
Yeah.
you bought the
Yeah.
film. Now you have to pay to get them developed.
Right.
And sometimes you'd pay to get shit developed,
Right.
and then
It was a total crapshoot.
you'd get them. And then unless you wanted to carry around to like a photo album, you'd all the time be
What
like,
do you do? Oh.
"Here, take a look at my pictures."
Yeah.
And now you're like, "Hey, check this out. Check this
Yeah.
thing out I saw the other day.
Right.
It's so cool."
I know.
So-
It's crazy.
So we're the
Although
last.
Piper, and then the Polaroid camera has made a odd comeback of
Is a novelty thing.
yes. very novelty thing, and it pisses her off because her whole last batch come out like shit. But at least with a Polaroid, it's instant. It comes out. The regular Polaroid that spits out the thing is what she has, the little mini thing, and it'll spit out like a shitty one. And she's like, "Well, what the hell?" You know,
Right.
like
This
I
is
could have taken
ridiculous.
this picture with my iPad,
Right.
like,
And then fixed it.
and then yeah, yeah.
How about, I got another one. We are probably the last generation to have to deal with really shitty cars.
There's still shitty cars.
No, not like they're what, like
No, yeah.
100,000 miles back in the day.
Dodge Omni.
Fuck
I
that
know
thing.
that's where you're going.
No, but what I was going to say was 100,000 miles back in the 80s into the 90s.
Was dead car.
That was a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Motors wore out, junk. Now shit's going like 2, 3, 4, 500,000 miles. No problem.
Only ours.
Shit starts all the time. You don't have to be half a
well, not-
mechanic.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
kind of. Yeah, but I see. Yeah. So much. And they wonder why we can't relate. Do you know how old we sound in this?
Well, that was the whole point of that, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're really old.
Right, because I could definitely go to bed right now.
All right. You calling it?
This is my blankie. Oh, it's my blankie.
Do we have to play this sad music?
Yes. Love you guys. I hope you don't hate the video.
I have the thanks for watching thing up right now.
So they can't see us.
No, they can see us.
Oh.
But they won't
I was
be
going
able
to flash everybody.